When was the last time you played a game that really affected you? And no, I'm not referring to a game that forced you to make a hard choice, or even the last time you laughed or cried during a cutscene. I'm talking about one that actually changed the way you think about your own life and the decisions you make every day. One that stayed with you well after you put down the controller, that has imprinted itself onto your mind long after you'd finished playing it. It's kind of surreal because with each year that passes by, that type of feeling becomes increasingly harder to find. I suppose it's partly due to the fact that the more you know and the longer you live, the harder it is to find something that really makes you reflect on who you are and who you want to be. So today, I'm talking about Kingdom Hearts and the effect that it's had on my life. Now, if you've seen my review of Kingdom Hearts or listened to our podcast, you've likely heard me talk about how much I enjoy the Kingdom Hearts series. But to this day, I don't know if I've articulated well enough just exactly why I love this series so much. Lots of people heap praise onto its art style and voice acting, its incredible music and lighthearted nature. But for me, it's one of the most interesting and poignant video games I've ever had the privilege of playing. Only a handful of games have ever affected me on such an intimate level. Of all these games, Kingdom Hearts seems a bit out of place. I mean, it's just some kid visiting a bunch of Disney princesses as he explores space with Goofy and Donald Duck. I mean, seriously, how much depth can possibly be found in a story like that? But before we dive into that, let me tell you a little bit about myself. When I was younger, I was often caught by my classroom teachers staring off into space. They'd ask me questions, and like that kid from Boy Meets World, all of a sudden I had to pretend like I was paying attention the entire time, and I was frequently embarrassed by things like that, but I couldn't help it because in my mind, all I wanted to do was go someplace else. I would try to pay attention, but often found myself in another world, fighting demons, saving cities, bravely exploring forests and mountains and valleys. I just wanted to go somewhere and have an adventure, but when it came down to it, when the chances to do something fun and exciting showed up, I would run away and hide. I didn't want to go exploring forests or mountains, not even on hiking trails, because, well, what if a mountain lion showed up? Or a bear? What would I do then? I was afraid of heights, afraid of new things, afraid of change, afraid of people. I just didn't get out and do much when the opportunities came. I think that's why I liked playing video games so much. I could actually go out and do the things that my soul longed for, but that my body just couldn't muster the courage to do. That's probably why I was drawn towards games like Ocarina of Time, and stories about young kids doing big things. Those are the kinds of games I often gravitated towards. As I grew older, I started playing more adult games and allowed the ones from my childhood to become little more than fond memories. Relics of my past and examples of how childish I used to be. Then, in 2013, I found Kingdom Hearts. I played the original PS2 version and had a great time. The controls were a little wonky and the cutscenes seemed a bit clunkily edited, but it was fun, all things considered. I remember playing for a while and getting to the Alice in Wonderland world and thinking, man, this better not be just me replaying watered-down versions of Disney stories over and over. To be honest, that's kind of what it is, but that's not all it is. Because there are moments like this. Moments when the depth of these stories hit adult Kaysen in a way that even kid Kaysen wouldn't have felt. Hour after hour, the more I played the game, the more I interacted with Sora, Donald, Goofy, the more I started to feel an unusual attachment to them. These were my people. A kid, a duck, and a... Wait, what is Goofy? What is he? Is he a dog? No, Pluto's a dog. Goofy's a... Maybe we'll just try and work this one out later. It just so perfectly recreates the sense of wonder and excitement that comes with meeting new friends, having adventures and working through problems. I mean, this isn't unusual for a game to portray, but Kingdom Hearts does it in such a way that makes it feel more intimate. I mean, it's not the overarching story with the fate of the universe hanging on a thread that has this impact, but rather the one-on-one moments. The journey shared among friends who've been through so much together, all while keeping each other's spirits high along the way. In sharing the highs and lows of such a crazy and twisted adventure through familiar landscapes, these characters form an unbreakable bond. The essence, optimism, and even confusion of youth is captured so spectacularly by the creators of these games. Maybe it's just that I'm kind of like Sora in a way. Some of the hardest and worst times of my life, I can look back on and smile. I have a bit of a selective memory, I guess. Times where friends were upset with me and I was upset with them somehow in my mind turned into just memories of us hanging out, living life and trying to get along. Sora seems to be able to take his circumstances with an enviable amount of optimism, kind of like a kid. The thing is, he's not just a kid. He's powerful, and it's through his kindness that his true power shows. Characters that are written like this tend to be some of the most relatable characters for me. Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender also comes to mind when imagining a fun-loving kid who has a tremendous amount of optimism and the power to greatly help those around him. The thing about Sora is, well, he forgets all the hard times. He focuses on the positive and becomes the kind of person I aspired to be when I was a kid. Somehow, as I've grown up, I've kind of forgotten how to do some of those things. I'm busier now, so it's harder for me to go out and help people. I've got people who depend on me, so I don't take things as lightly or have as much mindless fun as I used to. I've seen too much negativity and tragedy in the world to remain optimistic and hopeful about the future. But when I play Kingdom Hearts, when I step into Sora's shoes, I feel like I can get a glimpse of the person I used to be. The fun-loving, optimistic kid who always tried to be there for his friends and didn't take life so seriously. A kid full of hope and belief that he could change the entire world when he grows up. A kid that became me. Someone who's honestly afraid to travel or have adventures or take risks or meet new people. I still feel like a hungry bear is watching me from afar anytime I travel 5 minutes outside of civilization. But Kingdom Hearts helps me to feel like I'm a kid again. But not just any kid. The kid that I aspired to be like when I was younger. A kid like Sora. Hey guys, I'm glad I was able to explain why I love Kingdom Hearts so much. It's hard for me to put into words. It really is. Mike and I discuss this on the podcast over and over all the time. Many of our discussions often come back to Kingdom Hearts, and honestly, there's something about these games that I find difficult to put into words, but hopefully you guys understand what I'm feeling, where I'm coming from. And, subscribe to the channel, watch more of this kind of stuff, and enjoy Kingdom Hearts 3.